All right. So you've got your allotment and you're feeling dead chuffed with yourself, and the next thing you're going to do is dig. You're going to dig. You're going to chop and hack, and you're going to dig, and you're going to dig your allotment over, and you're going to dig, 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 and you're going to keep digging, and then you're going to give up, because that's what 80% of people who get allotments do. They just give up because it's too hard. So after 10 years on the allotment, if I could have gone back and given myself some advice, I would have said, get a strimmer. That's what I would have said. Buy a strimmer. And I bought a strimmer this year. Bought two actually, and I'll show you my strimmer. This is my strimmer, and it's made by GMC, and it's battery powered. It has 18 volt lithium ion 3 amp battery. It is telescopic, so it fits in your car, and I've fitted it with petrol standard strimmer cable. So the strimmer cable that it came with was quite thin. I put thicker cable on the, it had two fitments. It had, can you see those holes? Where it had like some fittings which the cable went through, but it wouldn't, this cable wouldn't fit through. So I've just taken them off. So that's my it says something here. What's it saying? It says lithium ion grass trimmer by GMC. You can buy these probably now, if you can find them, on eBay, and they'll be about 125 quid on eBay. This strimmer was brand new. It came with a battery charger. It came with a 3 amp battery, the battery charger, and it cost 65 quid. This one. The first one I bought, which was exactly the same as this, cost me, just turn this on. It cost me 45 quid. 45 quid. So it was so cheap that I also, at the same time, I bought the hedge trimmer, the GMC hedge trimmer. And that cost 45 quid too. So I got a strimmer, a hedge trimmer, 2 batteries, 2 battery chargers for 90 quid, which I thought was pretty good. So let me just show you. Now, before I show you this, what I was saying about digging against the strimmer. So with the strimmer, you can just get in there and start strimming it down, strim your allotment down, and strim it right down to the soil, you know, so you can see the dirt, the soil. Strim it right down. And this is what I use this all the time for weed control. So I keep the weeds down with a strimmer. I don't dig them out. I don't mess about with that. I just don't have time to do that. And most people don't have that time. So if you're using a strimmer, it means that you get more time to do the things which you want to be doing. And you know, that's like planting food, planting flowers and looking after your chickens, whatever. Anyway. Here we are. This is the mechanism. It's called a bump mechanism. And what happens is when you bang that on the ground, the cable, it releases the cable and it lets more out. So if you need more cable, you just bump it and it lets more cable out. It's got let's have a look. It's got a blade. Can you see that blade there? So as the cable comes out, the blade cuts it to the right length. Okay. So it's called a bump mechanism. It's got a cap, which if I turn it, if I grab hold of the mechanism and grab hold of the cap, turn it anti-clockwise, the cap comes off. This is called the spool. There, that's a spool. You can see the cable. This is a spring. This is how the bump mechanism works. The spring sort of there's some indentations there which the spool catches on, and it stops the cable from just keep coming out. So to wind the cable on, you look at the spool. Let me have a look. You look at the spool, right? Can you see the arrow there? That's the way that the cable goes. So you take your cable, and I usually take 3 arm lengths. So it's like 3 foot, 6 foot, 9 foot. All right. So this is the way that it's going, the arrow. There's a little slot. Can you see the slot? I put the cable, I basically bend the cable, but make the cable in 2 half, right? Put a bend in it there, and then put that bend into the slot, pull it down, and then just wrap it on like that. Make sure the spring's in. Put your spool over the top, push the spool right in, and we get the cap. Use our little finger like that, put that onto the bump, put the cap over the bump, which is fiddly, and then turn it clockwise. And you see the bits, there's like a bit of cable here. Just pull it, and if we do that, so push the bump in, turn it, and that'll let more out. Okay. Now I buy the cable from B&Q, and you get a big reel of it for 12 quid, and that'll last you for, well, if you're only using it on your allotment, that'll probably last you 3 years or something, whatever. But it's cheap, let's put it that way. Okay, so it's cheap to use. The batteries last quite a long time. I mean, I've had my Strimmer for 2 years now. I've had this one for a year, and I've had the previous one for 2 years, And it's the previous one I bought is still working, but it's not as good. It's a bit wobbly. They tend to get a little bit wobbly. Can you see that? They're not very precise. Now, I bought this one because the battery is 3 amp hour. So if it was 4 amp hour, 5 amp hour, the bigger the number, the more power in it. And also, if you pull this, the head turns. And what you've got then is, you see that wheel and this wheel? You've then got an edge trimmer for lawns. So because I'm a gardener, that's quite useful to me. It might not be useful to you on the allotment, but it's useful to me. I just found that this particular model, this GMC, with the big battery, the build quality of it, and the swivel head, I just found it really good. I just, you know, it does the business for me. So I can certainly recommend this to you. The reason I bought batteries is because it's quiet. I have petrol strimmers. The motor is here, right by your ear. It's noisy. There's a lot of power, but to be blunt about it, there's as much power in my battery strimmer as there is in my petrol strimmer. So why not buy? I mean, the petrol strimmers are actually more expensive. If you get a good deal, you might have to wait a few months, but if you wait a few months and you're patient, you might get a good deal. So you can pay 125 quid, or you can pay 45 quid, you can pay 65 quid. Just if you've got plenty of money, 125 quid, it's not a lot of money for the use of a strimmer for 12 months you can throw in the back of your car. You know what I mean? If you haven't got much money like me, you can wait. You wait till you get a good deal. So there you are. You've got your allotment. Go and get a strimmer.